2-drink minimum on location in Miami for Art Week. This is Scope. This is Chris True. This is Gabe Schaefer. And this is the man right here. Gabe, do the intro.
This is the one, the only Dan Witz, painter extraordinaire from Brooklyn, New York, who we have a special project going on behind us that is a 200-inch by 50-inch. What is it called when it's 4 panels?
I don't know. Quadriptych? Quadriptych? I don't know.
A quadriptych. Yeah, we'll take
multi-panel.
This man does not even know the brilliance that he unleashed behind us right here.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, see, he still does not know the brilliance he unleashed.
Well, this is really the first time I've seen it up. So it's too big for my studio. And, I brought it outside, leaned it against the building and checked it. But when I saw it up here, whatever, 2 days ago, was the moment.
And what did that feel like?
It was actually slightly emotional, slightly.
I can confirm. I was there. I saw you saw it for the first time, which is really cool. I mean, I think we assume that, the artist knows what this is going to look like in a different space. But you walked up here. We're in the lobby, main staging area of this gigantic art fair, and your piece is the center behind the main bar. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you saw it for the first time a few days ago.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't worried about it, but, you're never really sure when you do complicated Baroque, convoluted things if everything's going to work and it's going to move. And it moves. I mean, I looked at one woman, I was like, should I just... Nah, she's fine.
A woman or the painting?
The painting.
Yeah, not a woman in real life.
Yeah, it was a woman with the tilt of her head was pretty radical. And I remember at the time going, fuck it. And then and that of course keeps me up for a year or however long it took me to do the painting. And then I saw it the other day, I was like, oh yeah, I'm glad I did that.
When did you start this painting?
I really don't know. Some people always ask me how long did they take,
right.
And I couldn't tell you. Probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, because just composing them will take a few months.
Wow.
I've learned never to rush that, so I always have 2 or 3 I'm working on, and it could be a year that I'll work on them.
What's the largest panel piece like that you've done?
I think this is it.
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't even know what possessed me to try either. It became, a necessity to do, and I did it, and then it was done, and I forgot about it really.
We talk a lot about process on this podcast, whether it's art or comedy or music. And I think it's so cool that you were just kind of unaware of exactly what the process was. You just knew you wanted to do it. And then here we are a year and a half-ish later. And not only is it in this lobby, am I correct? It's also on the cover of the program.
Yeah, it's the program.
The program has the same painting on it, which is so cool. And you, of course... You can't plan for those things.
The belle of the ball.
Yeah, you're the belle of the ball, Dan.
When I first started posting it, one of the comments, which usually I don't pay much attention to, but it was good. They said, "Oh, it's very inclusive, the painting." And I was like, "Oh, I like that." Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what I was thinking about because, it's just an amalgamation of several residencies I'd done photographing in clubs around New York. So, when I saw that comment, I was like, oh yeah, maybe that was my intent.
Well, it's cool that you achieved that without even trying that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is when people don't think about it and don't do it and are never trying. You did, you achieved it without even trying, which that's just shows how good of a person you are.
Well, it's from experience that I know that I'll go someplace expecting something, I'm looking for that, and then I won't find it, and then I'll invariably be like, well, I'm here, what else is there? And come up with something so much better, so much more interesting, so much more topical, like being inclusive. And so it's just happened to me so many times by now. I was like, I'm looking for the, angry Trump voter, and all of a sudden I get something completely different, The happy Trump voters.
Now you're also
yes. If you've never been to a rally.
Oh, that's right. You've done some Trump rally.
I went to a Trump rally.
They're terrifying.
Yeah, and I got the hat, and I dressed in Carhartt clothes, and I had a little business card that said I was from this far-right news agency, and I photographed all these people expecting them to be angry and aggressive, and I really wanted to get that kind of rage stuff, and they were all so happy that I ended up doing this painting of like 20 like overjoyed people wearing red hats, and I think it made a point that was much greater than I would have tried to make, because it wasn't like negative argument, that bullshit. I didn't have an agenda. It just turned out to be something else.
Well, we talked about your light sourcing on your pieces briefly, specifically about when you showed me the image of the Mardi Gras piece you've been working on, and I think that I had said to you there was something about the way that these pieces are lit that remind me of a certain effect that you sometimes see in contemporary horror films. That resonated with you.
Yeah.
And I think that with that particular piece you were just talking about with the MAGA painting, even though they didn't look angry, you still had that lighting effect on it that made it eerie and haunting nonetheless.
Huh.
Can you talk a little bit about what is it that makes you decide to light things the way that you light them? Because I think that's one of the most... It's obvious you're an incredible figurative artist. We don't have to go down that road. But I do think that one of the things that is maybe I would assume should be talked about more is your light sourcing is really impressive.
So again, like I work from photographs, and I use a bright flash, and just because I need all the information, especially like the little details and the jewelry and the wristwatch, whatever, I need that to work from. But I don't really work from the photographs, so I'll use the light source as what direction the light's coming from. But really, what I do is I sort of transfer it into like the sort of old master, like the big history painting lighting. So I don't really light it like I'm shooting with a flash.
Yeah.
I light it like a 19th century academic salon painter would do a battle scene.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Cool.
I'm sort of in the back of my mind, I'm always going in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super interesting.
Yeah, because people are really shiny in
Right.
real life, and we don't want that too much.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
You don't want people shiny? Is that what you said?
I don't want them to be over shiny. Like
That's a good rule of thumb. I mean, we're in
Flash-
Miami. There's a lot of shiny people around
the
here.
flash makes them too shiny, so yeah.
Okay, and no offense to the shiny people listening or watching. We accept you for just how you are. But hey, while we're here talking about Miami, Dan, this podcast is going to be posted while Scope is happening during Miami Art Week. So what kind of advice would you give to somebody who is coming to Miami for the first time here at Scope specifically?
Advice to get the most out of it, you mean?
Yeah, like get the most out of it, or like what's the right mindset to have as you're in a place like this?
Well, I don't really know what the right mindset is, because I just have my mindset, which is a painter, and I'm constantly filtering out things that are irrelevant to me. So I kind of walk around with a filter, like a heavy filter. So I've been to 3 art fairs today, and pretty much kept walking, except like every maybe 10 or 15 booths I would stop. Like I'm not going to waste my open eye time on something that I don't think is going to have a payoff for me. So I wouldn't really take my advice, because I'm just a painter. I'm not like a regular viewer.
Well, Dan, I think you may have stumbled upon some really great life advice. And Gabe, tell me if you agree. Don't waste your open eye time.
I think it's called avoid rage bait.
Ooh.
I have certain types of things that, not necessarily art that I find irrelevant doesn't always, well, I don't know. There's some art that I find irrelevant that does make me angry. But for the most part, whenever something I find sends my brain into a space that's not productive, unless it's a challenge that has to be solved for something I'm trying to accomplish, if it's a passive thing that I'm sort of engaging in or seeing, I tend to just swipe left, baby. Yeah.
Swiping left on life.
I spend a good part of my life in old museums and dusty European, second-rate capitals looking at art, and you have to have that filter on for those places, because it's not always superstars. You got to keep walking and wait, and that's where I get everything I do from is from old master paintings, lighting, drawing, the whole composition of that thing is based on sort of amalgamation of different Baroque, Neo-Baroque, mostly French 19th century things. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I'm an experienced saver of eye time.
Well, and this is essentially our 1 year anniversary together because we basically started with Scope last year.
What did you guys get each other?
I hit him up, and
Yeah, but what did you get him for the 1 year anniversary?
oh, baby, I'm sorry.
This is it, I think.
Well, yeah, well, I got you that.
This is
Got you the best spot to possibly
Very,
have
yeah.
at Scope.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
All right, well, Dan, what'd you get Gabe?
I gave him my support, love, and always saying the good things about him.
There we go.
Because, Gabe, he's an up-and-comer. It gets bigger and bigger every year.
That's I'm gonna have to keep living up to that now.
Yeah, I think you will.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope
Sounds
so.
like you are this year anyway.
God willing. Yeah.
Yeah, when I tell you that the amount of people who are walking up to the Mortal Machine booth here at Scope and are just like jaw dropped, impressed with not only the curation but how many red dots are on all these pieces of art already. It's been fun to see. This is new for me, Dan. Like this is, I'm a fish out of water here, but I'm loving it. I'm really excited. I'm excited to do a podcast with you in a few days about my personal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your recap.
I want to hear that.
And this has just been so much fun. And Dan, you're a big part of that. Like it's cool being connected to people who are doing things this big and a thing like this. So I'm eyes wide open with all this stuff.
Cool, man.
But thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, buddy, we
it's been a
appreciate
blast.
it.
We are doing episodes every day, sometimes 2 a day here at Scope. And you can find more information about Mortal Machine at the website. You can also, if you're just finding us here, if this is your first episode because you're a fan of Dan, make sure you like and subscribe, stay in touch. We got so much more to come here at Scope. This is 2 Drink Minimum. That's Gabe Schaefer. I'm Chris True. Dan, sign us out.
Everyone have a blast. Come to Scope.
There it is. Eyes wide
Right.
open.